Are you looking for sealed product and singles? You can find it all on Channel Fireball. Please use my Tailmon affiliate code when checking out to help support my content. Looking for PTGO codes? Potown Store has all the latest sets and promos, instantly delivered to your email. You can use Tailmon code when checking out for 5% off. If you're from Europe, Millipots Gaming has a wide array of sealed products, singles, and more. You can use Tailmon code when checking out for 5% off. Want to show off your love for Tailmon? Check out my 2021 merch. These new hoodies and shirts are available on Amazon. Click on the link in the description to get yours. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new Tailmon video. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to be playing with some good old DECIGOONS today. It hasn't been receiving too much attention lately. It's always played in tournaments, but it hasn't done too well. Seems like with Centiskorch on the rise, it's just a really tough matchup to overcome for the deck, even though it does boast a lot of auto wins against a lot of different decks. Thanks to Decidueye's ability Deep Forest Camo, you are able to prevent all damage done to his Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon V and Pokemon GX. You utilize this ability to make sure that all the VAs and GXs in the standard metagame can't do anything to you. And you have the attack Splitting Arrow, which is actually pretty decent, doing 90 damage and 20 more to 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemon for only 2 energy. So not only are you able to stall out stuff with your ability, but you're also able to apply pressure and win through prizes. Now we have Obstagoon. As an option, the ability Untamed Shout. When you evolve Zigzagoon into Obstagoon, you get to place 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, whoever you want, but the main idea here is to utilize Obstruct, doing 90 damage, and during your opponent's next turn you prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon. So that allows you to stop something like Blacephalon from completely wrecking you. Now, the damage counters from Obstagoon and the damage counters from Zigzagoon's Headbutt Tantrum also help in making sure that the Decidueye can apply the right amount of damage and pressure to finish things off. We do have Scoop Up Nets as well to utilize them. We have the Sky Circus ability Rowlet, which allows you to attack for free with Bird Keeper, allows you to set up some decent numbers, especially early on, some early aggression. And we do play 4 Bird Keepers, which go along very nicely with Jirachi Stellar Wish, meaning we can Stellar Wish and then switch. And also goes nicely with the 1 Snorlax that we place with the ability Gourmandize. We're able to draw until we have 7 cards and set up that way. We have Mew for bench protection against Pikarom. We have Phione to prevent deck out scenarios and also mess with whatever our opponent has in the active spot. Remaining supporter wise, like I said, we have Bird Keepers and we also have Rosa. Rosa is a pretty good supporter to have access to whenever Pokemon of yours is knocked out. You get to search for a Pokemon, a trainer card, and a basic energy card to put them into your hand. That is how we're going to be searching for those rare candies, which are the toughest cards to get. And then we have Research, Marnie, and Boss, of course, but in lower counts. Capture energies help us in setting up. We have the Darkness energies for Obstagoon in case we need to attack with it. The rest are Grass and the Aromatic energy to fight off the pesky poison damage from Eternatus, which used to be a way that deck could bypass this one, but it's no longer the case. And so let's jump into the ladder and play with some cool DECIGOONS. Now Rowlet and Decidueye, I have a soft spot for them, and I've had one for them for the longest time. I just absolutely love the cards, and they're pretty awesome, both cool looking and also historically. I think Gen 7 with Rowlet was the first time I didn't choose the water starter in a game, and I ended up choosing the grass starter. So my love for Rowlet only grew outside of its cuteness when it gave me that 2nd place in the Oceania International back in 2017. So we do lose a coin flip. My opponent lets me go first. He might be thinking that because of the Grookey coin I am playing a Grookey deck, which is not the case, right? Or they might just be playing a Volcanion based deck. If so, then that's going to be one of our auto losses. It's actually Mew 3. This is actually Mew 3. So I'm going to start with the Great Ball. I'm going to establish the Rowlet, pretty nice. And wow, I already have Rare Candy Decidueye for next turn, which is pretty fantastic. We shall see if my opponent is actually playing some counter to Decidueye. A lot of decks are no longer playing Greninja GX. Mew 3 decks are no longer playing Greninja GX, so we'll see. I'm not playing Mimikyu, so I won't be able to turn off the Mewtwo myself. But we'll see, you know, we shall see. Alright, so we do see a Cherish Ball. We do see a Cherish Ball. So the Greninja is handleable. Okay, it is Pikarom. The Greninja is handleable as long as we can like set up enough attackers, right? So we are up against Pikarom, I believe, looking at this. Well, maybe not. We could still be up against Lightning Mew 3. That Crushing Hammer definitely confirms it's just good old Pikarom, right? And my opponent might honestly just outright concede when I go Rare Candy Evolve. Does play the boss, which is alright as long as I survive, right? Don't expect to be knocked out here. One energy Mew 3 is not threatening. So interesting that she chose to play the boss to draw an extra card off the Crobat rather than playing the Crobat and giving yourself a chance to draw an actual supporter, right? Especially Marnie. However, seeing that, we could be in trouble with the Dene. We could actually get KO'd by the Dene. Okay, not gonna be the case. I am able to do this, which is fantastic. And I can also start establishing Obstagoon, which is potentially even better in this matchup than the Coco. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna change my mind. Never mind, I just need multiple Decidueyes. That's all I need, really. That is all I need. So that was a waste. Gonna go ahead and Marnie. I just need one more energy. My opponent did use the switching card for me, which I'm happy about. And we find the capture, which is awesome. We find another Rowlet, which is alright. If my opponent starts using boss to KO stuff, that's completely fine. I kind of want to set up the Mew, but I also... Yeah, I think the Mew is fine. Yeah, I'll do the Mew. Why not, right? Why not? And then we'll start pressuring, right? And now that I put damage onto... the Coco, it's less threatening, right? Coco is definitely not attacking me next turn. And there we go. Yeah, therefore, Coco, whenever it came up, attacked me. If it had 40 damage on it, it would just immediately die afterwards. Unless it had a big charm, but as long as we were able to establish another Decidueye at some point, we were probably going to outright just win the game. So yeah, my opponent just immediately concedes, realizing that they have no answer to Decidueye, and the answer is already starting to get damaged. And even one Coco was never enough, right? Like, you can try and set it up and then like keep playing, but eventually it's just gonna be game over. So yeah, unless the deck just completely tetras, which is possible, but not super likely, right? Between your opponent's Marnies and your own bunch of draw supporters, it's not usually that problematic. Okay, so I don't know what I'm up against. I feel like, I guess I'll choose to go first. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, I'll choose to go first. It's just, if you choose to go first, maybe there's a higher chance of getting donked. This is a pretty decent hand though, so we'll definitely take that. Keldeo's Leaves don't tell me anything, and Groudon deck box. I think that's Groudon. And a Crobat, so we still don't know what we are actually up against. Go ahead and do this first. I guess I'll grab... I don't know what I'm up against. So I think I'm just gonna grab the Jirachi. And then that's what I'm gonna quick wall for Rowlet. And honestly, I'm looking for a Scoop Up Net so I can promote the Snorlax here. And that's good enough for me. Well, actually, the Rare Candy is very tempting. Yeah, sure. I'll keep the candy. Then if my opponent Marnies me, they Marnie me, and it's no big deal. Bench that, attach here, and then pass. Hopefully it's not ADP. If it is ADP, then benching the Snorlax was actually a mistake. Herbaloon could signify ADP, but we see Martial Arts Dojo. So if this is Colossal, then this is just going to be immediately another good matchup for us. And this confirms it is Colossal. And like I said, like Decidueye, you get a lot of auto wins and a lot of auto losses. Not a lot of auto losses, just not too many. All right. So yeah, as long as we set up one Decidueye, it should be pretty much game over. And since my opponent already researched, our hand should stay. We'll set up the Decidueye, and then the burn could be my opponent's way to fight Decidueyes, but as long that's only 20 damage. They are grass weak, which is a pretty big deal. And as long as we're able to find an aromatic energy eventually, then they're gonna be out of that option. So both games we had turn to Decidueye. You can see how consistent this list is. Props to Marcos y Fuentes for this list. And all right, so go ahead and attach here. I don't need to attack yet, I guess. I'll just establish another Rowlet, why not? Then I'll go ahead and Stelwish, grab the Quick Ball, and honestly I think I just pass here. Like I might have a turn where I give up on the Decidueye, on the Jirachi, and then use Snorlax. I have another Rare Candy Decidueye ready to go, which is pretty fantastic. So yeah, I don't know what my opponent's plan is. I should be a little scared that they're still in the game, even though there's a Decidueye already in play. We might have something. We do get Marnie out of the Rare Candy, but that's fine, because we'll have access to other stuff. Like the aromatic energy, which is good enough for me. Right, good enough for me. Like I said, I'm not threatened at all. I also hit for weakness. My opponent goes ahead and discards one of the potential attackers that could actually pressure the Decidueye. So the only way this deck could maybe deal with this is like if they played something like Donphan or Excadrill. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a pretty solid, pretty easy win for us. Alright, so I do top deck the Bird Keeper, which is nice. I'll grab the Quick Ball, sure. And then I'll go ahead and Bird Keeper onto the Decidueye. Draw 3 cards, attach the aromatic to prevent any burn shenanigans, whatever, and then just go ahead and splitting arrows. So 180. This prevents the damage. I'm taking a price here. Oh no, I'm not taking a price. So 1 price eventually, and then 3, so I need 2, right? So I think putting the damage on these guys makes sense. These are my 6 prizes, or these are my 6 prizes. We do get Marnied again, not a big deal. So my opponent has nothing to threaten my Decidueye right here. And I can use Phione to make sure that that Jirachi goes to the bench and I don't attack into it. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, I guess, because they have their Oranguru to tank a hit, so I'll still have to go through 2 Pokemon and then 2 more, but that's fine. That's generally okay. My opponent wants to play, so we'll play. Maybe I actually don't even go for Phione. Yeah, my opponent just really wanted to click on as many cards as possible before conceding, which is fair. And alright. I mean, usually that's gonna be games, you know? It's like either your opponent has a counter such as Volcanion and then you get rolled over, or your opponent doesn't have a counter and then they get rolled over, right? It generally is that straightforward most of the time. So yeah, that will be all for Decidueye Obstagoon. Definitely a deck that is heavily matchup dependent, and it can either go really well or really bad. Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a like, really helps out the channel. Leave a comment and subscribe if you want to have a chance at winning the Photon Store code given out. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.